Here I am, drinking a coffee, spilling it all over myself. Life is great. The sun's not shining, it's raining. Perfect. Just great. Not that I'm being sarcastic. I'm just spilling coffee all over myself. Luckily, I'm wearing a raincoat, so it probably won't have any effect. I'm worried there might be skunks out here because there usually are. Hopefully, if there are, the raincoat will retard any skunk spray. But more than likely, the smell will leak through. I'm going to stop talking like this right now because it's annoying. Hello. Welcome to another episode of my vlog. Yes, I've been singing. I've been doing musical vlogs. I beatboxed on the way to the Petro-Canada. I scattered on the way back. And I even sang a little Rammstein. Badly, I might add. Now I'm just walking. And there's not really any point. I shouldn't even be doing a video. I guess some of you will be turning it off right now then. And others will continue on to see whatever ridiculous things I have to say. I don't know. Today was a good day for ninjutsu. I discovered a new symbol with the help of some strange conditions. I watched a video about, weird stuff. It's like 3 hours long. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched like the first half. We were talking a lot about, damn, I'm getting hot. Talking, oh, that feels way better. I had 2 hoods on. I guess I could sum it up by saying they were talking about sacred geometry, but the way they were talking about it, there was a lot more to it than that. They were claiming that sacred geometry and any frequency that's cemented in reality is a absolute proof of God's existence, which Christians always do. Anything that's cemented in reality and is a permanent effect of reality and is a law of reality that can explain how the universe emerged on its own, because there are fundamental laws to everything that must be obeyed, so that everything had to emerge in a certain way and there was no other way around it. They say, well, that means somebody created it, even though that's the very thing that provides the possibility for it to be created out of its own. Now, of course, we can't get something from nothing, but I propose an idea that actually does not argue with Christianity, but Christians will no doubt argue with. That the beginning of time and the end of time, or the beginning of space and the end of space, be they the same or be they a metaphor for one another, or whatever, but that the beginning and the end are one in the same. This is in the Bible. I am not taking this idea from the Bible. It so happens to coincide with something else I believe. A lesson that was taught to me by a seemingly very insane man, Kirk Elliott Warrington, or as he prefers to be known, Savage Dragon Cortez, / Zephi Beeblebrakes, / James Tiberius Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Now, Kirk said a lot of crazy things, but he was so out there that the things he said couldn't have been just craziness. I was like that too when I first had my spiritual awakening, saying things that didn't make a lot of sense, but they still made sense. They just didn't make sense to other people because I couldn't understand them. Eventually, I managed to understand one of the things he was talking about, and that's that the beginning of time is also the end of time. Time is circular, not linear. This is how we can explain the existence of our universe without the need for a God. I'm going to talk quieter now because I realized how loud I am echoing off the buildings. See, you can say, oh well, everything needs to be created, and the very proof of an object's existence means that it had to have a creator. Well, by that logic, God had to have a creator, and you say God was always there. So if God was always there and was not created, and he exists, then God was not created, and therefore nothing needs a creator to be created or to exist, because he always existed. So if you can believe that God always existed and did not need to be created, then you could just as easily believe that any or all parts of the universe always existed and did not need to be created. A friend of mine even argued at the beginning of the Bible, when it says Elohim created the heavens and the earth in the original Jewish, that it can be translated also as Elohim arranged the heavens and the earth, so they may have pre-existed. All that aside, I believe that the beginning of time happens directly after the end of time. And as we go on making our patterns, living our daily lives, the strong living on, the weak dying off, and everyone eventually dying, I believe that at some point, be it after billions or trillions or sestillions of years, that at some point everything stops. But it doesn't end. It stops because it reaches a point of finality, but not completion. I believe that nothing in this universe has ever been complete before, that we've always tried, strived for it. But every time the universe comes to an end and begins again, we fail. Because it begins again because it's a necessity for it to begin again. Because we didn't complete the things we were meant to do. Because we tried to make up false answers, things to distract ourselves from the real truth, like religion and politics. And societal laws and all kinds of other bullshit. Philosophy, even some parts of science, you name it. Everything we do is bullshitty in a small way, at least. So we go round and round and round, from death to birth, from birth to death. Another life, another boon. No time to waste, no time to rest. Reincarnation. The torture never ends. Reincarnation. A bloody fate. Now, some people believe you can get reincarnated immediately after you've died. But that certain Buddhist masters can control when and where they are reincarnated and what they are reincarnated as. I don't believe that for a fucking second. I believe that the soul is part of your body. It's red blood cells or iron. I believe that the personality is part of your body. It's carbon or hydrogen, a little both, or maybe just hydrogen, I'm not sure. I don't have any concrete beliefs because I have no proof of anything either way. I have educated guesses. And I believe that the spirit is part of the body. That it's the moisture contained within. The oxygen parts that make up your body. So I think that this whole religious thing is a big frickin', I don't even want to use this word, scam. I'd say mind control. Because I know mind control because I do ninjutsu. And it has very much the same flavor, although more ferocious than ninjutsu. More ferociously nitpicking at your mind and telling you what to do. I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm thinking about the ambulance and this garbage can where I'm going to throw my coffee cup. It's raining. I don't know if I want to stay out here and do an episode, but I can. Okay, so I was getting kind of off topic there anyway. Let's try and recenter this whole thing here. I can't just say religion is crap. That's too easy, and it's been done over and over and over and over again. Doesn't matter if it's true, it's not very convincing. Oh, I have no idea where I was going with that now. Religion. Oh, religion, religion. Right. Now I understand why I got way off topic. So, I'm not trying to sit here, really, I got a little opinionated there, but I'm not trying to sit here and disprove the existence of God. In fact, I'm not trying to prove anything. In fact, I don't really present any proof in any of my videos, really. It's all up to you to decide what it means. I just provide information that is very good for one to consider. I did make one argument where I went on and on calling God a bunch of bad names and stuff like that, but I deleted it because it was too offensive, and I didn't feel it would get to the point. I felt it would lose me some viewers, and that really I wouldn't be teaching anyone anything. Even if I was right, it would only make people who believe in God very upset and not very adherent or coherent or whatever to things I was actually saying, and probably dampen their opinion of me for the rest of what I was saying, and possibly cause them to stop listening. You know, what I'm trying to do is portray the idea that the universe, everything we see, everything we touch, everything we hear, was always there. My theory is similar to the Big Bang. I guess you could, it's not so much a hypothesis, because it's not an idea of what would happen in an experiment, but it's not really a theory either, because it's not backed up with any proof. It's not that there is zero proof, it's that I have not assembled it in any way or fully comprehended it in such a way that I can portray it to you. I suppose you can read my books, my notes, but that still is nothing entirely convincing. It's something that if your opinion, if your beliefs allowed you to believe in what I said, then you'd believe it. And if your skepticism or your beliefs in other areas were too rigid for you to believe in what I said, then you wouldn't really believe it. I can, I want to say converse, but I'm talking to the camera. But even if it was a conversation, I can converse about the topic, but I'm not sure where I would root the necessity to believe in it, or the grounds to believe in it. That's going to take some thinking. Let's see. Well, start at the beginning. Where did all this matter come from? Really? I mean, like I said, you could say it came from God, but then you always have the argument, where did God come from? And if you say God was always there, then we can just say the matter was always there. It's an equally logical argument. Except, well, really there is no main exception, except I feel myself, from the things I've read and from the things I've seen in the Bible, that the Bible has some conflicts and some really weird stuff that doesn't make sense, that you can only justify by saying they lived in a different time. And I don't think that living in a different time allows you the right to perform acts of extreme brutality, even if it was the order of the day. Getting a job is the order of the day now, and I'm not getting a job because I feel it infringes on my time. So I have my own reasons to live the way I live and do the things I do. I've been more fortunate to be able to get on disability and not have to get a job, but I'm not the only one in the world without a job, so, you know. Anyway, that has little to do with what I'm talking about. And there's nowhere to sit down because it's raining. It's too loud here. I'm not finding a good spot to do this. This isn't really working out, but I really want to touch on this subject at least. So, that's where we start out. Everything had to come from somewhere. I'm not disqualifying or discounting the God made it argument. I'm just providing a different perspective. So if you have to think of it as a hypothetical, even if you have to say if in an imaginary realm, but if God did not create the cosmos, the universe, etc., where did it come from? Well, I believe that everything is made up of biological matter. You could say, but Ray, metal doesn't have cells. It doesn't need cells to be biological. It's in our bodies. We have iron inside us that's part of our body. That's biological. It's a mineral. So that argument has no validity. So for reasons of my own, because I've seen them using my psychic abilities, because I've used my brain to reach out, much like an antenna. It could be compared to an antenna, either like one on an ant or like one on a TV. Either way, I can read information from the air. And I've used my brain to interpret and understand and comprehend and perceive things that, well, basically I just read them very, very closely and very, very carefully until they made sense and until I could arrange them into a well-organized group. And one of the things that I've found is that although things can be broken down to a state smaller than biological organisms, such as the microbial, I don't know what they're supposed to be called, but mini organs, if you can interpret that those microscopic beings are made of, and then you got the material that those mini organs are made of. When I say mini organs, I mean stuff like the nucleus, which you could compare to a brain. So it's almost like an organ, I just don't know the word for that. Let's see if I can pull this raincoat down over my butt, sit on the edge of the picnic table. Okay. I'm kind of leaning on it. So, I believe that all the raw factors, not the most minuscule, but the most raw factors, in other words, the, how can I put this? The most significant and most concrete factors that make up our universe are different types of cells. Different types of cells, and those cells, I believe, can be any size. They can be smaller than an atom, and they can be bigger than a house. There are, in fact, bacterial structures under mountains. I heard this from a Bill Nye thing, that covers so much of the earth that we thought it was insects, but it's actually these huge bacterial masses that are the largest beings by size on the planet. There's more of them taking up space on the earth by their mass than there is of any other being. And I don't know if they're entirely single-celled or what, but they are bacteria, and they are a strange mutated form of bacteria, and they are huge. But I believe that there are actually 6 main proponents or components. I don't know if proponents is a word, but it feels right, so if that's the right word, go with it. If not, go with components. But I feel that there are 6 main components that make up the entire universe. Not the foundations of the universe. Or no, wait, I shouldn't say that. They are not the things that the universe is founded on, but they are the foundation. So not the ground that the building of the universe is founded on, or the house of the universe, or whatever you would call it, is founded on, but the foundation itself that the rest of that house or that building sits on, the house being the universe. And those things are in this order, beginning with darkness as histamines. Then those histamines evolving naturally, because this is the natural process, into light, which is white blood cells, which have then evolved into the earth element, which is bacteria, which then evolve into the fire element, which is red blood cells, which then evolve into the water element, which is viruses, which then evolve into the blank element, which is neutrinos. And I don't know what neutrinos should be as an organism, but they are blank, so they really have no underlying predetermined function. More so, they share in all 5 functions of the other elements. Darkness is attack, light is healing, earth is growth and absorption, fire is thoughts and mind, Water is spirit and emotion, and neutrinos are speed and lack of attenuation or plainness. The darkness and light are the supernatural elements. The earth, fire, and water are the normal elements. And the blank or neutrino is the super mundane element. So these are all organisms, one-celled organisms, living things that make up everything in our universe. I am not one thing. I have red and white and all kinds of cells in me, and these individual living organisms make me up. I am a system of organisms. I have evolved to the point that I am a universe. I am a solar system. I am a world. I am a system of living things interfunctioning with one another. And I believe that all living things started out as being one big clump, or something like that. One big clump of living things. One clump of these 5 things that I've just named. And that they eventually branched off, joined together, became more complex beings, whatever, by working together through unity, through the Triforce. That, though, doesn't answer everything, and it doesn't cover everything, and it doesn't explain why things are the way they are. I did another video about what I'm about to discuss, maybe 2 videos, I'm not sure, but I don't think either one of them got uploaded, and I don't think I'm gonna upload them. But there are 3 frequencies that dictate every other frequency, and there's the lack of frequency, which is darkness. And the 3 frequencies are on the side of yin, and the darkness is on the side of yang. So those 3 frequencies are the precursors to earth, fire, and water. They are eth, which is a base vibration, dath, which is a silent vibration, and watt, which is a high-pitched vibration. And they can come together to form light, which is a combination of all 3 vibrations, and also white light, to be more specific. And also they stem from basically the top of the pyramid with the eye. It's an eye-shaped symbol, and it's called Ra. So basically the eye of Ra, or the top of the pyramid. And it is the precursor to energy, and it is basically a shapeless, formless vibration with no constraints whatsoever. And energy is in everything, even the things that are made from energy, even though they themselves are solid or complete or however you want to put it, they still contain energy and have energy of their own. And energy is nitrogen. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's more to the universe, I guess, but that's all I know, and that pretty much adds up to everything in the universe. Those are the only building blocks you need to make it, because everything's just a vibration, like resonating, or what's the word, vibrating, I guess, at a solid state. That's just the frequency that it's vibrating at, that it's resonating at, whatever you want to call it. But it's a complex group of vibrations of these vibrations I've just described. And basically those are the very basic parts of the universe, and just so many of them adding up and merging and breeding and becoming new species and etc. Just become more complicated beings, and a more difficult, more meaty universe that has more, flesh to it, because it adds up and it combines together and it expands. And see, a vibration is not a limited thing. You can just make a vibration. You don't need any material to form a vibration, so you can always have more universe. I mean, if that's all it took to start the universe was a single formless vibration, then that could have come from anything. That's just motion. Motion expanding into matter. And, I mean, that's just too simple to not understand. So, in closing, everything could have came from nothing, or from a single motion, or a single vibration, or from the very smallest, most insignificant point of energy, like a single shapeless, formless vibration. And just by virtue of different frequencies forming out of this vibration, which is what vibration does by its very nature, not by something that's programmed into it, but just the way vibration is, we can have all these different types, all these different organisms develop. And then those organisms develop into other organisms, interbreed, mutate, evolve, and the species that is most flexible or can gain the most advantage always survives. So those advantages are passed on, and over billions or trillions of years, those changes, those advantages staying and those disadvantages dying off, eventually has a larger impact, and makes a differentiation in whole species. And whatever's more suited to its environment will survive, and whatever's not suited to its environment will die off without breeding, and it just doesn't get passed on, and we keep going without it. And there's not really any way to control that. I mean, we have cities now, so we don't usually die, but not everybody gets to breed. And like, look at me. The people tell me I'm intelligent and everything, but I have no skills when it comes to attracting a mate. Apparently I'm good looking. I don't know if I should believe that though, because girls don't usually, come over to me and to say or do anything. Don't really indicate that they're attracted to me. And then when sometimes they do, I don't know how to approach them, because I was raised very Christian, and it's still in my subconscious that any kind of sexual, sensual, any sort of heterosexual interaction whatsoever is just is programmed into my head to be shameful. Just to have any kind of intimacy with a woman. So I usually go for women that I know will put out. I've only had sex with one woman, and she was pretty ugly and fat, because I guess I don't have enough self-respect, because I was talked down to a lot when I was younger, and I just can't get my head in the game. I can't trust myself. I can't rely on myself. I have no confidence in myself. I missed out on just being human and just indulging in all the good things life has to offer. Instead, I was taught that they're shameful and wrong, and I hated myself when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, for just wanting to have some horror that would come fuck me, and that was brought on by trying to be the opposite extreme of Christianity and be a Christian at the same time. I couldn't just do it in the middle, like have sex but not be going after or just hoping for or wishing for some hoe that would come fuck my brains out and do nothing else. I should have been looking for a girl that I could have a fun time with, mentally and physically, and I don't know how to do that now. It's been programmed right out of my head. I don't know how to talk to women that I know how to talk to women that I'm not really attracted to, or that I don't have a sexual interest in. I find that pretty easy. I just talk to them like anyone else. But when I do have a sexual interest, or at least when it's an overwhelming sexual interest, my mind just goes retarded, and I just try to keep everything totally platonic, because I always feel like pursuing any kind of relationship is going to be inappropriate. And if I do have a mental illness, then that's it. Not fucking the spirits I see, they're real. But not being able to connect on a proper level with a woman for the purpose of mating, I think I'm pretty fucked up in that area, and that's mostly because of my mom telling me all that stuff was bad, and I really can't explain the extent that the things my mother taught me fucked me up. But let's just say I don't think of myself as a normal human being. I think of myself as a very fucked up individual that is really not in sync with the normal human nature. And there's two ways to look at that. To say I'm unique and I'm different and I'm better than other people because I have an advantage for one thing or another. But for every advantage I have a disadvantage. You can't get something without first giving up something else of equal value. So you know what? I'm fine. I'm just damaged. Someone help me. That's what I really want to say. I'm embarrassed to be saying that into the camera. I'm embarrassed to upload it to the internet, but I probably still will. Someone help me. That's how I feel right now. It's just someone help me. Someone help me be myself. Someone help me be real. Someone help me be a real person, because I'm just so trapped in this whole facade. And it's not because I practice ninjutsu. I was faking a lot more before I practiced ninjutsu, because ninjutsu made me understand how dangerous faking things and tricking people can be. And now I'm much more responsible about it. It's like a weapon. It's like a knife. You don't just go around stabbing anybody. You can use it to damage someone, or you can use it with surgical precision to heal a wound. To make somebody better. But really don't let anybody see what I'm really about, because when I do, people hate me. They really hate me. I don't know if they're jealous or prejudice against my beliefs, prejudice of who I am, and the fact that I'm happy and I can be satisfied with things that they can't, and I don't need money to be happy, and don't need religion to be happy, and maybe they just see how can he be not a rich guy with lots of money and a company and fancy women and still enjoy life more than I do. I mean, I hate life, but there's a yin and yang to it. I enjoy it too. There's parts of life that are just too spiteful for me to tolerate, but there's parts of life that I enjoy just by the virtue of the way they are. You know? Anyway, getting bored. I'm sure you're getting bored too. You probably stopped watching this a while ago. I think I'm done for now, and I'm gonna go.